The prophecy of the mark of the beast from the book of Revelation is interpreted by many as a future event that will have global implications, rather than beginning in a specific country. Here is a detailed explanation of how this prophecy might be perceived to be beginning worldwide. Before we start, we'd like to ask for your support. If you enjoy our video, please hit the like button. This will help us reach more people and create content for you. Now let's get started with today's video, understanding the prophecy. Revelation chapter 13 verses 16 to 18. Niv. It also forced all people, great and small, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hands or on their foreheads, so that they could not buy or sell unless they had the mark, which is the name of the beast or the number of its name. This calls for wisdom. Let the person who has insight calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. That number is 666. Interpretations and perceptions of the prophecies. Beginning 1. Technological advancements, microchips and digital ID. The development and implementation of microchips and digital identification systems have caused concern among some people. For example, Sweden has been notable for its use of implantable microchips for identification and transaction purposes. Biometric systems. Many countries are adopting biometric systems for identification, which include facial recognition, fingerprints, and retina scans. This is seen in countries like China and India. 2. Economic and political control, digital currency. The rise of cryptocurrencies and central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, are perceived by some as a step towards a cashless society. For example, China's digital yuan and pilot programs in other countries. Global economic systems. International organizations and agreements that promote economic integration and digital economies might be interpreted as steps towards a system that could enforce a mark. 3. Legislation and regulation. Health and security measures. The COVID-19 pandemic led to increased use of health passports and digital verification methods, which some interpreted as precursors to the mark of the beast. This has been seen in many countries worldwide. Surveillance. Increased surveillance and tracking for security purposes, as seen in countries like China with its social credit system, raise concerns about control over personal freedoms. Has the prophecy begun? While these developments may seem to align with the prophecy, it is important to note, interpretations vary. Different religious and theological perspectives will interpret these signs differently. Some view them as necessary technological advancements, while others see them as fulfillment of biblical prophecy. No consensus. There is no global consensus among religious scholars or leaders that the prophecy has definitively begun. The signs are often subjective and open to interpretation. Symbolic versus literal. Some believe the mark is symbolic of deeper spiritual or moral choices rather than a literal physical mark. Global nature of the prophecy. The prophecy of the mark of the beast is described as a global phenomenon, affecting all people regardless of nationality or status. Therefore, it is not limited to beginning in any one country but is viewed as a worldwide development. The idea that the prophecy of the mark of the beast is beginning worldwide is a matter of interpretation and belief, rather than an objectively observable event tied to specific countries. Here are some examples of developments in various countries that some people interpret as signs of the prophecy. Sweden. Implantable microchips. Details. Sweden has been a pioneer in using implantable microchips for identification and payment purposes. These chips, embedded in the skin, allow people to make transactions and access secure areas. Interpretation. Some see this as a precursor to the mark of the beast, because it involves a physical mark, the microchip, that can be used for economic transactions. 2. China. Social credit system. Details. China's social credit system tracks citizens' behavior and assigns scores that affect their access to services, travel, and financial opportunities. The use of facial recognition and biometric data is widespread. Interpretation. This system is viewed by some as a form of control that could be likened to the mark of the beast, where compliance is rewarded and non-compliance is punished, impacting one's ability to buy or sell. 3. India. Aadhaar biometric identification. Details. India's Aadhaar program is the world's largest biometric ID system, with over 1 billion people enrolled. It uses fingerprints and iris scans to create a unique ID for each citizen, which is required for various services. Interpretation. The extensive use of biometric data for identification and economic transactions is seen by some as a step towards the implementation of a mark. 4. European Union. Digital Identity Framework. Details. The EU is developing a digital identity framework that will allow citizens to access public and private services across member states using a single digital ID. Interpretation. The move towards a unified digital identity is seen by some as a potential for future control over economic activities. 5. Global, digital currencies and cashless societies details. Many countries are exploring or implementing digital currencies, e.g., China's digital yuan, and moving towards cashless societies. Digital currencies can provide greater control and traceability of transactions. Interpretation. The shift towards digital and cashless transactions is viewed by some as paving the way for the mark of the beast system, where financial activities can be easily monitored and controlled. Summary. While developments in technology and governance in various countries can be interpreted as aligning with the prophecy of the mark of the beast, these interpretations are subjective and vary widely among individuals and religious groups. The prophecy's fulfillment is seen as a global event, not confined to specific nations but involving trends that span across the world. Conclusion. While some believe the prophecy of the mark of the beast is beginning due to current global trends in technology, economics, and governance, there is no definitive evidence that it has started. Interpretations are diverse and depend heavily on individual beliefs and perspectives. It is crucial to approach these topics with careful consideration and discernment. The prophecy of the mark of the beast is deeply intertwined with personal beliefs and interpretations of current events. While some see signs of its beginning in various technological and economic advancements, others view these developments as unrelated to biblical prophecy. There is no definitive evidence that the prophecy has begun in any specific country, but certain global trends are often cited as indicative of its potential fulfillment. Please subscribe my YouTube channel. I hope you like this video. Thank you.